Like, what's the feeling of being able to get such a nice win in the Contender Series, and then having Dana White call you and say, "Hey, you're in the UFC, man."
That's like the word dream come true. Like it feels it feels cliche, but that's like what it is. Because especially the year that led up to that fight, like it seemed like I was I was done, man. Like like I had a lot of fights canceled. I had a really big title fight in a smaller show canceled like a little before it. So I had been fighting for I think 7 years already at that point, and it was like I was always having this bad luck where fights kept getting canceled for me. So this ended up, coming in at the time when I really was trying my hardest to make it, and it worked out really good. Him, especially, kind of pulling me aside and saying like we want to take this guy. It made me feel like okay, like everything I did leading up to this, all the sacrifices I made, it was worth it. It kind of like it should have needed it, but it definitely validated all the experiences I went through in the years prior. So it's definitely a dream come true.
Yeah, and it's almost like a feeling like it all led up to this kind of moment, kind of cliche.
Yeah, but hey, but that's exactly what it when it captures the moment exactly. Those are the perfect words for it.
Hmm. And kind of talking about the Contender Series for a second, do you feel like the future of the whole Ultimate Fighter is kind of coming to an end?
Uh, well, the Ultimate Fighter, the TV show, are you talking about? Or are you talking about the
Yeah,
Contender
the
Series?
Ultimate Fighter TV show. I know they're doing a new season, but do you
Mm.
feel like the Contender Series is kind of starting to replace that?
Nah, because I I feel like there's two separate things. Because I actually auditioned for that show and I got picked for it years ago. Like when this is the same season where Uriah Hall and Derek Brunson were on. Like I was on that one at the last minute. Like I didn't make it. So like I was ready to go on to that. I was trying for years to get in UFC.
Hmm.
Trying for years. But that show gives you a more personal look at the fighters. Like they try to give you a little snapshot with the Contender Series, and it's you get to see like their trials and getting there more. But in the Ultimate Fighter, you see their personality and what their real makeup is. And I think you build a stronger connection with the fighters through the Ultimate Fighter. Like Forrest Griffith, like I'm a fan of his to this day. Yeah,
Hmm.
for his fights for sure, but the Ultimate Fighter show, like seeing all these people overcome adversities on a regular basis, and you kind of bonds you to them like for a long time.
Yeah, and I find sometimes with the Contender Series, sometimes they only give you that a little like that 2 minute story, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times it's that kind of cliche story of this is what happened and this is what I'm going to do to honor this or that. It's almost like the same kind of everyone's kind of has a little bit of a mini story, but at least like you said on the Ultimate Fighter, you get to kind of get an experience of what this fighter is kind of like not so much inside the cage, but outside the cage, what kind of person they
Yeah.
are. And oh, this guy, I want this guy or this girl to capture
Mm-hmm.
that belt one day. I mean, you look at Tony Ferguson; he was in the
Yeah.
Contender Series, and I followed him for a long time. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to kind of see that kind of thing. Is it kind of bittersweet that you got your moment in the Contender Series versus the Ultimate Fighter? What would you prefer?
Well, well, God is good, so I made it in there at the end of the day,
Right.
But the Ultimate Fighter show, I was kind of scared to go because I had to be away for some time, and I feel with all the effort that I put into getting there, I would want to go in there and then show people like what I was like, and get to kind of get to know me better. But honestly, what I was looking forward to there was the fights. So, so with the Contender Series, it's like you kind of got to the meat and potatoes of it. You got the fight, and then like show everybody your skills. Because of that previous experience of trying to get on Ultimate Fighter, I think the Contender Series win was actually more. It's sweeter for me because it let me know that I belonged in this place. Because I think that's the thing that kind of frightens people in the beginning. I mean, when you turn pro, it's like, at least for me, it was like, oh, I'm pro now, but it's the same thing. It's like you fight the same guys, what I mean? So nothing
Right.
much. When you fight another country, you go international stuff, you're like, oh, okay, I can fight on a world level. But we all hold the UFC on a certain level where we feel like, okay, these guys are going to be crazy, and I don't
Mhm.
know if I can make it. I felt like to get on a Contender Series, I had to feel like I could beat anybody, no matter who it was, and I was able to prove that to myself, and that's what gave me the confidence going into the actual UFC, and start swinging and feel confident.
Nice, nice. And with the whole process for the Contender Series, do you apply for that? Do they contact you? How's that work?
I'm not sure. Well, my manager told me about it, and he told me
Okay.
about it like, man, he was telling me about it for like a month, like a year. 'Cause I tried to actually. It's not so crazy. I went to the Ultimate Fighter show again. So I went to the Ultimate Fighter show
Okay.
again, and it turned out that it was going to be a women only episode or season. And I didn't know.
Wow.
So I showed up. I went flew over down there, and I showed up, and they were like, "Oh, we're only doing the girls in a certain weight class." And at that time, my manager told me, "Hey, don't worry, we can get you on the contender show. We have it set up if it's gonna be good." And it was comforting, but after going through all that trouble and making it there, I definitely felt disheartened, and I started to feel like, man, like I had the worst luck. Man, I got the worst luck. Like
Right.
I don't know what's gonna happen with the contender show thing if I'm gonna get this opportunity or not. But by grace of God, I got it, so it worked out.
Wow, that's quite the story. And I mean, you've had an impressive run since you've been in the UFC for the most part. And I mean, is the body snatcher just getting started?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think now, and I feel like I can express myself the best now. I think when I first came into UFC, like I didn't know what to expect, but I had my own ideals of what I needed to do, and I was focused more on winning by knockout uh, than actual performance. I was like, I'm gonna get this great knockout because I see these openings, I see these counters, and I'm gonna land this shot. He's gonna fall this way, and I'm gonna move this way. All this stuff like that. And then I ended up losing a split decision on that fight, and I was just angry. I was very upset.
Hmm.
'Cause I
Of
felt
course.
like I had more to show, and I didn't show it. Like I was almost holding back and trying to be cool, almost. Like I'm trying to win with this thing. And then the next fight, I went all out and I won. And then I felt that was my focus now was just performance. And even with that first win there, I felt like I didn't show as much and I wasn't training hard enough and I wasn't doing everything I could. The thing about this kind of stuff is when people say, that there's levels to this and stuff like that, there's levels to the training and preparation, and what you do at an amateur level and even an early pro level is not going to be what gets you to compete at the top level because you could
Hmm.
fight a guy that you could beat him, but he's just a little more conditioned than you, or he has some kind of like a better training program, and he makes the fight difficult. You can't rely on just knocking people out and then winning the fight that way. I mean, it's possible for sure, but you have to focus on your performance, and even if it feels uncomfortable, do things to get yourself ready and prepared for the fight the way it is, not the way you expect it to be.